Prologue, the invisible among us. Every street has them. Every city, every town, every neighborhood. The neighbor you don't see, not because they are hidden, not because they are far away, but because you have learned to look past them. Their life brushes against yours at the mailbox, at the grocery store, in the quiet spaces of daily routine. And yet somehow they remain unseen. The illusion of seeing. We believe we see people when our eyes land on them. But sight is not the same as recognition. To see is to notice. To recognize is to acknowledge, to honor, to accept that another life, as deep and complicated as your own, is standing before you. Most of the time we stop at sight. Recognition takes more effort than we are willing to give. Who goes unseen? The invisible neighbor takes many forms. The unhoused man holding a sign at the intersection. The immigrant mother whose accent makes her a stranger in her own community. The elderly woman behind closed curtains, visited only by the nurse who checks her pulse. The worker who cleans your office at night. The child in the back of the classroom who never speaks. The disabled veteran sitting in the corner of the diner. They are there, they are near, but they are unseen. The comfort of invisibility. It is easier not to see. If you see them, you might feel compelled to act, to offer kindness, to change your habits, to admit the system is crueler than you'd like to believe. So invisibility becomes a shield. For them, a cage. For us, a convenience. We tell ourselves stories to make it easier. They chose this, they deserve this, it's not our business. And so the neighbor disappears behind a veil we ourselves have woven. The moral tradition. Every faith, every philosophy, every moral code teaches the same thing: to notice the stranger. The Hebrew Bible commands care for the widow, the orphan, the foreigner. The Gospels speak of the Good Samaritan, the one who saw what others ignored. The Quran commands believers to feed the poor and protect the traveler. The Buddha spoke of compassion for all living beings. Again and again, the message echoes: you are measured not by how you treat the powerful, but by how you treat the unseen. The cost of blindness. When we fail to see, we do not only diminish the other, we diminish ourselves. We shrink the size of our world until it contains only people like us, people we already approve of, people who do not trouble us with their difference. The city becomes smaller, the nation becomes colder, the soul becomes poorer. A society that stops seeing its neighbors is a society that has already begun to die. The moment of recognition. But everything changes the moment you choose to see. A glance can become a greeting can become a conversation can become recognition. The simple, sacred act of saying, you are here, you exist, you matter. It costs almost nothing. And yet it is the very foundation of community. Stories in the shadows. Every unseen neighbor carries a story. The janitor in the school hallway may be a poet in his language. The woman serving coffee may be supporting her entire family back home. The man you walk past on the street may have once worn a uniform, raised children, carried dreams just like yours. To ignore them is not simply to ignore a stranger, it is to erase a universe. Why it matters now. In our time, invisibility grows deeper. Screens replace sidewalks. Social feeds replace communities. We curate who we see, and algorithms filter out the rest. We are surrounded by voices, and yet more alone than ever. Surrounded by neighbors, yet lonelier still. Democracy cannot survive this blindness, nor can faith, nor can friendship, because all of them depend on the simple, radical act of seeing one another. The call to see. So what do? We begin small, we notice, we ask names, we pause long enough to listen. We recognize that even the briefest kindness has weight. To see the neighbor you don't see is not charity, it is justice. It is community. It is the recognition that freedom means nothing if it belongs only to you. Epilogue. A wider vision. The world is full of invisible people, not because they are hidden, but because we have forgotten how to look. To be human is to widen your vision, to notice the neighbor, to recognize the stranger, to see what others ignore. Because once you see, truly see, you can never go back. The neighbor you don't see is waiting. The question is whether you will open your eyes.